Breaking news from American Airlines. Let's go right to Phil LeBeau. Hey, Phil.
Hey, Joe, we've got a leadership transition taking place at American Airlines, the company announcing that longtime CEO Doug Parker will be stepping down from that position starting March 31st of next year. He will retain the title of chairman of American Airlines. His replacement, his longtime lieutenant and the president of American Airlines, Robert Isom. He will become CEO effective March 31st. So you will have Robert Isom as CEO starting March 31st. Doug Parker will remain as chairman. These two go back a long ways, guys. And we're talking about going back to the days of working at America West together in the mid to late 90s. And Robert Isom, prior to being president of American Airlines, was the COO when American came out of bankruptcy. And who was the person who orchestrated American coming out of bankruptcy as part of a merger with U.S. Airlines? Well, it was Doug Parker. He's been here for 8 years as CEO, but now he will be stepping down. Not a surprise, guys. Many people knew that eventually Doug Parker would want to make this transition take place. And I've been told that this is something Parker and the board have been discussing for a while. So not surprisingly, Doug Parker has announced that he will be stepping down as CEO March 31st. Guys, you do not want to miss this exclusive interview that we have coming up at 7:30. We'll talk with Doug Parker and with Robert Isom here at the American Airlines Operations Center on a big day for this airline as they announce a transition to a new leader starting in late March next year. Guys, back to you.
Hey, Phil, question for you. Doug's only 59. Why walk away now?
Well, he's 60.
Oh, 60.
Well, look, he's been doing this for 20 years, Becky.
Yeah.
He's been doing this for 20 years. He's made it clear for some time that there is a natural point where you say, okay, I have done what I wanted to do. Think about his career. When he was at America West, he became CEO 10 days before the 9/11 attacks.
Oh, gosh.
He guided them through the 9/11, post 9/11, even though America West airplanes were not involved. The industry was rocked. There was the recession. He got them through that. America West then merged with a bankrupt U.S. Airways. And who was the person who put that together? Doug Parker. They became the 5th largest airline. And U.S. Airways was successful. U.S. Airways never went into bankruptcy. But when American Airlines went into bankruptcy, Doug Parker saw a great opportunity to get the size and the scale he was not going to get at U.S. Airways. And in 2013, he put together the deal where you would combine U.S. Airways with American Airlines coming out of bankruptcy, and he has been the CEO of American ever since 2013. In fact, it started trading again December 9th of 2013. So we're almost coming up on exactly 8 years since it was a publicly traded company.
That is a heck of a run when you think of it that way. From right before,
yes,
10 days before 9/11, to have to deal with 9/11, to go through the Great Recession, to then have to deal with everything that happened with COVID to the airline industry. Man, that's enough to make anybody tired, I'd guess.